SHODOMITES! Super Jesus Warrior Creationist Cat here, and in our last episode of Devon Tracey's a psychotic false-flagging dildo brain who doesn't give a shit about free speech and will employ his army of unethical sycophant fart knockers to false-flag a channel out of existence, we learned that Devon Tracey's a psychotic false-flagging dildo brain who doesn't give a shit about free speech and will employ his army of unethical sycophant fart knockers to false-flag a channel out of existence. And today we're going to explore what will undoubtedly be his pathetic bullshit justifications for this shameful freaking behavior. Let's get started, shall we? Behold, the tweet that sparked a million cries of slander! Yes, Devon and countless flying freaking monkeys have accused this tweet of being slander. And here are a virtual cornucopia of reasons as to why you should not take that claim seriously. For one, since this is the written word, it would be libel, not slander. If you guys are gonna make incorrect claims of defamation, at least get your legal jargon straight first, people. Next, and far more importantly, this is a freaking joke! Seriously! If it was not a joke, that would mean I literally wanted Devon supporters to give money to the KKK. Do you honestly think that's what I wanted? Now, is there a meaning to it? Yeah, we're gonna get into that later. It's not a nice joke, like I said before. Comedy isn't always pretty, people, but it's clearly not meant to be taken literally. It's a hyperbolic joke told by a cat who was zapped by God through the internet, known for hyperbolic jokes. And you know what? I know that Devon Tracey is at least passingly familiar with the concept of hyperbole, because when he tweeted to Cenk and Anna that he wanted to bash their brown and olive skulls together until they are no more, this is what he had to say.
Now, I'll leave it to you, at home, to figure out if I was being literal. Would anybody read that tweet and think that I intended to bash their skulls together until it was a fine powder?
Yes, and I'll also leave it to you at home to figure out if I actually wanted people to donate to the KKK, and here's their actual donation hotline number, just in case you're a fucking idiot. Oh, and then there's this crap right here, too.
He felt perfectly comfortable calling me a KKK member Creationist Cat. He decided to call me a member of the KKK.
Hey, Devon, do me a favor. I want you to read this tweet with me right now and pay attention to the fucking verbiage. Because if you do, you should realize something. For those that contribute Patreon dollar signs to Atheist True, I suggest you give it straight to the KKK. You'll get a bigger bang for your buck. Devon, that right there does not suggest that you are tantamount to the KKK. It suggests that the KKK is a lot worse than you are. So stop saying I said you were in the KKK. Stop saying I said you were a freaking Nazi. You've said that a million times too. I think you've known that was a lie from the start. Quit it with the bullshit! Oh, but Tracey, you called him a dirty racist in your doc drop video. So, slander! That's fucking slander! Nope, sorry, fart face. Watch this video. Every single one of you who insists otherwise, watch this freaking video. If you do, you'll see that what I actually said is that he sounds and comes off like a racist. Yes, I will back that up. No, that's not a cop-out. That is not a passive-aggressive, pushy way of saying he's a racist. And you know what? I resent that term, by the way. We cats are fierce creatures. Look, I got a fucking lizard in my mouth. What now, bitch? As for him coming off and sounding racist, okay, guys, listen. Oh, fuck! Where do you think you're going? Yeah, that's right. Now I gotcha. So, I got everything under control now, guys. So, as I was saying, look, I know there's a lot of you whose bullshit detectors go off every time you hear someone call something racist. And I feel you. There's a lot of self-proclaimed victims out there that cry racism when there is none. But just follow me here, alright? Jacqueline Glenn says, people who are black are often treated unfairly. Okay, so before we move on, please note that she is talking about black people in general. And in response, AIU said,
Oh, cry me a river. Oh, the people that are black, they're often treated unfairly by the cops. Maybe they should stop dealing with the cops. Maybe they should stop committing crimes.
Now, AIU insists he was talking specifically about black criminals here. But once again, look purely at the verbiage, people. It gives every impression that he was talking about blacks in general. There is nothing here or later within the video to signify otherwise. And it's pretty obvious that these words, at face value, sound and come off racist because AIU later flipped his freaking shit that people had the audacity to take his words at face value and believe he was talking about blacks in general. He put the onus on us to just read his freaking mind and automatically make that jump from a generalization to something specific. He realized that the lack of specificity would make it sound like blacks are inherently criminal, and that the entire statement would therefore come across like a justification for all police brutality committed against black people. Now look, in retrospect, do I think that's actually what he meant? No. I've come to realize that Devon is just so much of a fucking egomaniacal narcissist that he is practically incapable of admitting, or maybe even realizing, he misspoke and really believes we should have just known what the fuck he meant for some reason. But that's a crock of shit! When the drunken peasants, myself, and thousands of others watched his video and took his statements at face freaking value and either said he was racist or, in my case, said he sounded and came off racist, we weren't fucking crazy. We were just reacting to some stupid bullshit he said. What AIU calls slander was just a reasonable reaction to that stupid bullshit. And this joke was no different than a scathing hyperbolic joke any late-night comedian might tell about somebody like Donald Trump if they happen to say some stupid bullshit like this. And you know, right now, I just have to say, Jesus fucking Christ! You know you are dealing with a herd of thin-skinned, butt-hurt, sanctimonious, self-righteous dildo heads when you have to go to this length to explain a joke. Get over yourselves. You are not immune from mockery, you children. And hey, here are some other reasons why these accusations of slander are freaking ridiculous. AIU has no compunction with labeling someone as a bigot or a racist.
Wow, that's a massive fail. If you wanted to make a video against racism, why would you be racist in the video? When I talk about the left being racist, I'm accusing you of racism, Jacqueline, and Jon Stewart.
And here he is calling a 14-year-old a Jew-hating shit. Now, the kid did say fuck Israel in one of his videos, but it was 1000% obvious that he was criticizing their political actions, not hating on Jews at all. And yeah, if you were wondering, this is the same kid that AIU said,
"Suck my balls!"
to. And that brings me to my next point. Who on earth believes all this horse shit about Devon's supposed concern for his name and reputation anyhow? Because no one has ever done more damage to all those freaking things than Devon himself. I mean, are you honestly telling me that you think a prospective employer trying to maintain a family-friendly image is going to say, you know, this tweet about that Harambe kid's parents looking like gorillas is okay, and this comment about a portly black woman being a big fat chocolate tub of shit is just fine too? Oh, and hey, he made a crazy recording where he tried to dox a 14-year-old and told him to suck his balls, and yeah, then later that kid did fearfully plead to Devon to tell the hacker he had specifically asked to get every fucking thing he could about him on the internet to back off. He did tell that kid to make a video where he sucks a Jewish man's dick, or he'll dedicate the rest of his life to attacking him, you fuck. You know, all of that seems pretty on the level to me. But A cat that was yapped by God through the internet made a hyperbolic joke involving him and the KKK? Oh my God! Now look, in all fairness, AI does defend his big fat chocolate tub of shit comment as being pro-black, and when it comes to the Harambe thing, he'll say, well, gorillas, they just look large and black. And as for the 14-year-old kid, he'll say that he called them names, and
Me not liking those names. And me gonna react to those names. Me said Jar Jar Binks.
he's got a good point. He said Jar Jar Binks. But I think the point still stands that if Devon's reputation is in the toilet, it has everything to do with him, not a tweet like this, which, incidentally, is also his justification for revealing the name of my worthless human slave.
I forced him to reveal his name. He wasn't man enough to reveal his name. So I took it upon myself to loan him some of my excessive manliness, and I forced him to sign his name to his slander.
Could you just hold on a second? I gotta... Oh, sorry. I just always have this spontaneous vomitous reaction whenever I see a butthurt man-child compensate for the fact that he can't take a fucking joke by putting on a mask of superficial tough guy bullshit. But, I think it's actually time to clear up a cavalcade of distortions, strawmen, and straight-up fucking lies. First of all, the whole idea that Vadim or I ever played the victim is a crock of donkey shit. It's just really fortunate for you because this Vadim guy has no shortage of incriminating facts in video that you can potentially exploit. Except there's just one thing. Unfortunately, he really doesn't give a fuck. Right there! He didn't give a fuck! You spin this bullshit story that we were in a freaking tizzy when my video obviously just says, fuck you, your attempts at intimidating me into silence are unsuccessful. And yes, that's exactly what you were trying to do.
I said, hey, Creationist Cat, your real name's Vadim Newquist. Did this silence him? No. He went on to make multiple videos calling me a racist.
One video, you fucking liar, where I said you sounded and came off racist. There actually is a huge difference. Asshole! And the fact that you could even bitch about that with a straight face when you had essentially just called Jacqueline Glenn a white-hating racist is balls out insane! How dare you besmirch my good name by calling me what I just called someone else in a video about an hour ago? Seriously, can we just, revoke this guy's card to bitch about this crap, now? Cause he's called Vadim condescendingly racist. He doesn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Hey, Devon, you are entitled to your stupid fucking baseless opinions.
I heard that you had a feud with Creationist Cat, too.
The main problem they had was me publicly acknowledging that black people commit more crimes than white people, and it's not even close.
Nope. Sorry, hemorrhoid breath. I never disputed your statistics, neither have most of your critics. You lie about that all the friggin' time. Quit fucking lying, you lying fucking fart face.
Your name was public before I said that. How do you think I found your fucking name?
Well, that's actually a really good question, Devon, because here, you say something totally fucking different.
And some guy I barely knew named Anthony sent me a direct message. And it said, hey, Devon, just so you know, Creationist Cat, his real name is Vadim Newquist. I'm chatting with him in email. I copied his name, pasted it on my Twitter account. I said, hey, Creationist Cat, your real name's Vadim Newquist.
So, wow, you can't really get your story fucking straight now, can you? And, I understand how you can mix these things up, because you're a fucking liar and all. If I had to guess between the two, though, I'd probably say that the latter was true, that you got my name from Mr. Peanut, because he did ask for my email through PMs on Twitter, which would mean you did not get my name through a basic Google search. And, that would really make sense, because one would think that you would have posted Vadim's name when you were initially hurt by that tidal wave of butthurt that joke tweet gave you, but you actually posted it 3 days later when I was totally frickin' poning you in a little Twitter battle that had nothing to do with the issue of race. But let's think about this a little more because, if the opposite is true and you did just get it from a quick Google search, well, that'd probably mean that you were actually just butthurt by those later tweets, and it secretly wasn't about this tweet at all. But I guess we'll never fucking know because you're a liar, like I said.
I'm against doxing and have never doxed anybody.
Oh, really? Well, Devon, if you want people to believe that you're against doxing, you know what you might not want to do? You might not want to name a year after it. You also might not want to try and justify why revealing names should not be considered doxing by invoking an article written by a crazy person who seems to tweet about how men are all garbage 50 times a day, and who wrote that article specifically to justify the doxing she did of a rape victim. Cause yeah, you did that, and let's just face it, that's stupid and embarrassing. You also might want to tell people that although she might think revealing names does not constitute doxing, the FBI sure does, and I know you're fond of using them as a source, Devon. It would also be pretty cool if people knew that you, of all people, are now expressing regret at having your name out there.
Things like that can happen. It's incredibly rare.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't do it the second time around.
Look, I don't blame him, alright? It sucks that his parents got swatted, and I am not saying that jokingly, but it does kind of demonstrate how having just someone's name out there can have catastrophic consequences. And this dildo-brained child doxer right here is wrong when he says that super negative effects are rare. These guys right here can freaking attest to that. Kraut and T right here, his name was recently doxed by some ethically bankrupt dipshit in the name of AIU. His name soon found its way onto a blog belonging to these crazy fuckers right here, who apparently have been known to do crazy shit like firebombings and attack police stations. Seriously, I really don't know what Spider-Man is doing with them. Maybe he's possessed by Venom again or something? I don't know. But yeah, they basically said that they should find his friends, find his family, and have fun hunting him down. And when they say that, I think they mean with more than just super soakers. There's also this crazy psycho bitch who created a fake Facebook account for the OutSpokenRealist to contact his family to fuck with him. Here she is talking to a friend of his, admitting to all of this, how she tried to be really, really nice, and how he has, quote, Columbine potential. Ironically, this woman has a flying monkey boyfriend who himself remains anonymous, probably because he'd like to avoid the possibility of some demented psycho bitch like her impersonating him and spreading patently untrue horseshit about him to his friends and loved ones. So, look, a lot of this stuff has been discussed more in depth previously, so if you haven't already watched it, check out this great video, which gets a lot more specific in relation to this. Links down below in the freaking Christ box. But what I think is more important for me to mention is that AIU's use of his flying monkeys to do his unethical bidding goes much further than just doxing and false freaking flagging.
So I have a problem with anybody trying to smear me, assassinate my character.
Sure, but he has no qualms with smearing others and assassinating their character, armed with the shittiest evidence imaginable, like the time he made a bullshit accusation of plagiarism to my worthless human slave and gave him 24 hours to admit to this, or, quote, prepare to be humiliated. And the time span of just literally a couple of hours, the bullshit machine was in full swing. Dozens of nonsense accusations of plagiarism. There were videos. Devon even saw fit to report it to Joe freaking Rogan. Needless to say, this was total freaking garbage. We proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt, and if you want to hear more about it and see my worthless human slave pwn the ever-loving shit out of Devon on this topic, then the link to that will be at the end of this video. But perhaps the most egregious example of just how dirty Devon can get is found in this mind-blower of a PM Devon wrote to the Canadian atheist as an attempt to extort him into removing a strike Devon had received for uploading his video, whole cloth, with no edits whatsoever. Now, this is something that Devon had done several times before on YouTube. He had always claimed it was fair use when challenged, but the lying freaking fartface was obviously lying, cause Devon knew for a fact it was never fair use, because here he is just nonchalantly admitting that there was no copyright permission given, no fair use for this kid's video right here, who he did the same to. So anyhow, Devon threatened to file what would have been a shitload of blatantly false DMCAs against him, every single one of his videos, in fact, even though Josh had actually used Devon's material under fair use guidelines. But of course it didn't freaking stop there. He threatened to provide images of him to his army of flying monkeys, like these right here, to spread them around. Once completed, he was going to use his contacts in the world of web design to make sure these results would be searchable through every major site. Now look, Josh wasn't an angel in all of this. No, but what he did to AIU was light years away from what Devon did to him. This was a fucked up attempt at extortion. Seriously, I recommend reading this in full, because if you do, you'll probably agree with Kraut and T here.
Let's be honest here. The type of behavior displayed here is comparable to the behavior of some low-life street thug.
Damn right! SHODOMITE! So, look, this right here and this right here are what real smear campaigns look like, Devon. You should fucking know, because these are just a small fraction of the ones that you have started. You say yourself right here, you and your name will be destroyed. That's the plan, kid. Here, you are saying you can't wait for potential girlfriends and employers to look him up, and then you play the sympathy card over potential girlfriends and employers? What the fuck? This is Crazy Town, and we gotta get out of it. We gotta get out of Crazy Town, internet, by not taking Devon seriously anymore when he talks about supposed slander and smear campaigns. It's a joke. I know it. You know it. This lizard knows it. So, SHODOMITES, make sure and tune in friggin' tomorrow for the thrilling conclusion of AIU Bound to Oblivion! You don't have to, but if you don't, you'll totally burn in hell. Oh, fuck!